Alright, everybody. So it's time for day 4 of Tadpole Comparative Ontogeny. Here's where things get fun, and you're going to see why. A couple of things that I wanted to get out of the way before we actually get into the video. So, first of all, people ask me a couple of people have asked questions about the process of rearing tadpoles and things like that. And the first question people ask is it legal to go out and collect the eggs and adults and things like that? So in the state of Rhode Island, it is illegal to possess or sell native amphibian species unless you are part of a exempt institutional organization. For example, if you are with an educational organization, which I am, or you are part of a research institution, or a certified zoo, or animal rehabilitator, you are exempt from this. So, because I am doing this for educational purposes through a university, technically I am not doing something illegal. However, I will warn you, for people watching, to be very careful about going out and collecting the native wild animals that are around for personal purposes. This is an educational demonstration, and I'm not doing anything that's technically illegal. However, what I want to stress is that legality, the ethics of something are different matters, and I am trying to do this in an ethical, responsible manner wherein I'm not introducing foreign hazards like diseases or disrupting the native wildlife. The goal here is to have an activity for the people who I'm showing this to and who are going to be participating in this activity, hopefully in person later in the spring, to learn from it, because what we are doing is a project of comparing the development of different species of frogs when they're larvae. So that clears that up. The other question is, how do you do tadpole rearing? And we're going to get into that as we go along in this project, but basically what you want to do is you want to have a nice big container for them to live in that has clean water. You want to provide them with plenty of food. Tadpoles are very generalist. What I found is that rabbit food, the pellets they make for rabbits to eat, is superb tadpole food. They do really well on it, and so that's what I use now. You want to make sure you're always cleaning waste, you're keeping the water pristine, and you're recognizing when they're metamorphosing. And so we'll see more of that as the frogs go along. And that's about it. There were those were the only things that some of the people I was sharing this with and talking to about this project were asking. Good questions. Always make sure you're doing things that are responsible, whether or not the law is forbidding them. And, oftentimes these laws are in place to prevent people from doing irresponsible things. So, again, please just be careful. It's great to go out and observe wildlife, but it's also great to leave it be. And if you're doing something for educational purposes, you want to do it in a responsible manner. As you saw, the wood frogs were released once they had laid their eggs back where they came from, not any random place, because they didn't want to introduce pathogens that may have been in those wood frogs. And, same with the spring peepers. And, things that are going to be moved between organisms and between locations are cleaned with bleach before they're moved around, so that anything that's a potential disease agent is cleared away. And that is crucial for just making sure that you're protecting the welfare of your local populations of these animals. So with that, please enjoy the day 4 updates.
All right, day 4, and there is a spring peeper tadpole that is hatched. Here's a hatchling right there. You can see it. Where's my finger? Just a sec. You can see it right there. And then there's another tadpole in the grass right there. So the paper tadpoles are hatching. You can see some eggs that failed to develop are still in there. And then you can see some eggs where the tadpoles are getting ready to hatch. You can see another hatchling tadpole right there. Now, the tadpoles are very simple right now. They don't really have fully developed eyes, anuses, or really very much mouths or anything to them right now. They hatch, and I believe that, oh, look at the egg, they're moving. The motility is probably to allow them to escape predators, but they're not going to feed or poop for a few days. They're finishing up their development outside of the eggshell, living on their yolk. So all tadpoles do this. They don't feed it when they first hatch. It usually is 2 or 3 days before they'll start feeding. Meanwhile, the wood frog eggs, we have a good mix of eggs that fail to develop and tadpoles that are now actively moving. You can see the gills that will eventually have flaps of skin grow over them on the side of the tadpole. And this is our wood frog egg mess at day 4. It has now expanded to the full size it will expand to. It's roughly the size of, I don't know, a baseball. It started out maybe the size of a lime, maybe slightly smaller. As you can see, the eggs that fell out of the egg mass failed to develop. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to release all but, I don't know, maybe 30 tadpoles of each species when they hatch. And I'm going to definitely clean out the water. It is looking a little gunky right now, probably because of dead grass that's floating in it. And it is good to have a little bit of biofilm in here for the hatchling tadpoles to start feeding upon, but you do want to keep the water nice and clean.